Hello.
Hi. Hi, Ruben. Hi,
How's it
everyone.
going? Look, we already got hella love on there already, so that's good. From Andreas and hello, Zach. Watching the Kings game, but you better watch us too. How you doing, Melissa? How you been?
Oh,
Looks like you're a little stuck there, but from your internets.
I'm
But
good. Forgive my phone.
yeah,
Oh no. I hope it was at least a
no,
good
you're
phase
good
that it
now.
was stuck.
Yeah,
If I'm
you're
gonna get
perfect
stuck,
now.
I'd rather be like,
You're
it sounds
perfect
like we
now.
might have a delay because or are we just talking over each other a lot?
There's a little bit of a delay, but how are you
We can
doing?
handle this.
Yeah.
I think there might be a lot of a delay. It sounds like, at least on my end, there's a long time after I talk that you talk. What if we try and sing a song?
Well,
See.
that'll be different, right?
You know what? We're just gonna go with this, and hopefully, if anyone watching can say if it sounds like we are responding to each other strangely or not, or if we just seem strange, because that's
Yeah.
probably not untrue. But it's good to see you. I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad how are
Teresa's
you?
here. I'm doing good. Teresa's here, waiting for us too.
Yeah, that's what I was
Um,
gonna ask. I can't remember how we do this. We were supposed to have time to chat about it, but Melissa was late. So sorry, Ruben.
it's okay. I think we're back in sync too, so that's good.
I think we are too.
Yeah, and then
Awesome.
we have Yaya's here too. Yeah.
Hi.
So Yaya, we were just talking about you in the back too, so that's great. Welcome. Yeah. So how you been, Ashley? Because it's been a while since we've actually seen each other too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a big question. How much time do we have?
Oh yeah, enough.
Uh, to put it succinctly, I'm good right now. I'm happy to be here, and it was a wild day of like ups and downs, but those are sort of like always right in life. And
Yeah.
yeah, and I was just before we met, I always like to dive deep on our topic within myself, trying to not know what I'm going to say, because that's the beauty of a live show, is that we get to engage with people. And anyone who's watching right now, I just want to remind you, we're only here because of you. Otherwise, we would just be on a call with each other. Like, we want to hear from you. If there's anything on your mind, if anything that we say sparks a thought, that gives us like some stuff to work with. So say hello, tell us how you're feeling. And anyway, yeah, I'm happy to be here. And now I'm going to bounce it back to you. How was your day and how are you feeling?
My day was great. I did my intentions. I woke up and I said, I smiled. I do the smile of enlightenment. I said 24 hours, brand new hours to live my life with compassion and creative. Did all my intentions in the morning. Got up, ready to go, get my car, and someone tried to steal my car. So someone broke my
What?
keys. Yeah. So I'm like, well, that's something happens like that. So yeah. So it was interesting. Sometimes at the end you're like frustrated and you're like, well, it's luckily they didn't break my windows, right? You got to find the grace and or the
How did you know
gratitude
they
and
tried to steal your car?
because they try to break the ignition, so I couldn't put my key in it. Yeah, so I had a little clue when I opened, my door was open, but yeah, anyway, so that's how my day started. But it ended up great. Like you used to, when I was younger, I would have like, oh no, my day started shitty, so guess what, the whole day is going to be shitty. Now
Yeah.
I know that I can change it, mentally to all right, well, start out shitty, but it's gonna be a great day anyways. What am I supposed to do? Like, so a lot of it was, okay, well, the universe doesn't want me to leave the house today, so what am I supposed to do? So I cleaned up and got everything ready for the show and had to relearn the show, the process. So yeah, I was
I know.
like, oh my, where's the cord or what's this? Yeah. Anyway, so it's exciting, and I'm glad that we are doing a show on reconnections because that seems to
Yeah.
be. Ooh, I like the background you have right there. It's awesome. Yeah.
It's
So
live. These are paid actors that I
yeah,
said. I
yeah.
really
I'm
want
like,
to
this is
warm and
it.
fuzzy.
I'm all see, and
She was
yeah,
actually the cat that I used in my post saying, hey, you guys want to feel more connected? Come tonight. And she knows that she needs to like pull
show.
everybody in. So if anyone
Yeah,
likes,
we're
look
gonna
at
use
that.
energy. We're gonna use some Reiki to pet the cat.
I'm gonna try and
Um.
quickly connect on my headphones, which is why I have my phone. I think it's because I'm on my phone with my headphones. They're not working.
Oh yeah.
Are we calling in our
Yeah.
guest? When is she?
We're going to call on our guest right now. So we have Teresa is our guest today, and she has been here on Cali Cocktail Hour too. So, and she's a creator, educator, coach, and healer. Now, I'm not going to try to pronounce the last 3 ones, so that's going to be up to her. Okay. So, I read special guest. That's pretty good.
Okay, that sounds good. That sounds smart.
Yeah, and we're excited to have her back too, because I know that we talked a little bit in the back about some connections and and transitions too. So, what I'm going to do is I am going to play a little song that we did, and then we'll come back. This song has a poem by Maria Sabina, who is currently behind me. She is a shaman, a curandera. People who know her out there, but there is some stuff with Melissa going on. So let's yeah, I think don't move your computer, I think, if you're doing that.
I'm not. I'm gonna message Michael and say don't do anything on the internet. Do not use our Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I'm having okay.
I need to take a pic. Oh, I was going to take a picture. Okay, so we'll be back. This is a song that I wrote with my friend Chelsea Wolf, and we'll come back, and it's really trippy but sit back, relax. We love you, and we're glad that you're here, and we'll get everything back in order, right? Let's do it.
Hail to the sun living in the sky. Hail to the stars that give us light. We live in a house overrun with vines. It's more like a hell, but we feel fine.
Okay, we're back.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. How's it going?
It is going great. It's so good to see your guys' faces.
Yeah,
it's so nice to see yours. You look so vibrant. I just get energy even just looking at you. And your shirt. By the way, am I still like wonky over here, or does my internet seem better?
It's way better. The internet's is awesome. That's
Yeah,
great.
Everyone say a prayer.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah. We
How are
like
you
thank you
guys
for. Oh, we're doing good, right?
Good.
I don't want to speak for anybody.
Yeah, yeah, Ruben. I'll speak for myself. I'm doing great.
Right on.
Yeah, I'm in a
So
new room, which speaks to the plushies and also to the internet being wonky. I never work from this room, but my kids are asleep in one room and then my partner's in the other room. So just making do with what I have over here. And that's kind of what we
Great.
always do on this show, right?
yeah, things happen, life happens, and that's what it is too. That's live. Um,
Yeah.
I like to thank everybody for coming out, and like in the beginning of the show, Melissa said about it all is about you. So please ask questions, be part of the show. That's what we're here for you. We love you. We're glad you're here. We're glad you're here at Cali Cocktail Hour because it's been a year, so we're back for reconnection of, so to speak. So yeah, so it's great to see you today. A little bit about yourself too, right?
Yes. Well, where do I start? The transition and, with reconnecting, I'm going to take it back a little bit to like pandemic where we were kind of just by ourselves and trying to figure out how we were going to get through it. And we went through it. We're kind of still in it, but everybody's might have like their foot in and foot out. And I think everybody's kind of like trying to be out of it instead of trying to still say that there's a pandemic. And then it's like cold season. And so people are getting cold and people are like, oh, do you have COVID? And so it's just trying to remind people and reteach people that it's winter season and people are getting colds. So let's get used to just getting back into that cycle. Let's see, overall transition from being in Sacramento and now teaching, which is been amazing. Had an opportunity to become a special education teacher at a high school, which is been very rewarding. Full circle, I'm alum of the high school, and it's good to be back. And see old friends and people of the community and see children grow, and it's just been great. But I initially started with just wanting to coach basketball, and so that opportunity presented itself, and I said, why not? Let's see if I can give back to the community where like my seed of like learning and growth started.
Well,
I'm still doing like healing work, which is good.
Yeah, the world needs more healing right now too. We're in that transition
Yes, absolutely.
too. Yeah. My manifestation for you was to you were going to make a movie out of you because you're going to teach the basketball team and take them to the finals, and it's all this going to be this sage and copal coming out everywhere, but when they go into this court, right? Yeah. So that's that's my prediction. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hola, yeah. So you got 3 stars.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good to see you, sister.
Another healer on the line. So we got some stuff going on. Yeah,
Anybody watching, please feel free to drop how you're feeling right now. You don't have to back it up with a story. You could just drop an emotion, or if you want to share more about it. But we want to hear from you, and we just appreciate your presence. So I have a couple of questions for Teresa.
Yes.
I'm self-conscious about saying your name wrong. I'm sorry. How can I pronounce it correctly?
You can say Tere,
Okay.
Teresa, Teresa.
Okay. Tere.
Yeah.
So we're sort of going here already, but we know has it been just about 2 years since we were all live talking? Because I feel like it has.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I feel like it has.
Yeah. Okay, so I know sometimes like the general, like I think you did a really good job of sort of painting a picture of what your life looks like now. But I just want to hear, like looking back at say the last year, what has been most difficult and what has been amazing for you?
Most difficult, I would say, is not being around a lot of people. I would say I'm such a people person, and sometimes being out in the community, and I think it's just energy in general where, you gravitate towards certain people. And so being out in the community at community events and being able to share like the energy and, burning the copal and being present in the community. And in that time where we weren't allowed to be around so many people. So I think that's one. And the thing that's great is just being able to be closer to loved ones, because there was like a disconnect even during the pandemic, because we weren't able to go and have family gatherings and before the pandemic, where it was birthdays and baptisms and quinceañeras and weddings and just general having friends come over for like cocktail hour. But it just feels good to appreciate that when we were away from people, it actually made us feel connected to our family. We're able to focus on like what are the important things.
And
I hear that.
yeah, that's great. And I also like having talked to some older people who are also like, still kind of a little bit weary about going into like a restaurant, right? They'll go if there's an outside restaurant. Though, I think that there's a lot of like little, like I said, risk connections in that way too. And at how we are too, like, okay, what's going to happen during Thanksgiving, right? We're going to go back to that part again, right? Your coffin, is that something that we need to know?
Oh,
No,
can you
kidding.
hear me? I'm trying to mute myself.
No, I'm just joking.
but real question,
Yeah,
could you
yeah.
hear it?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I'm
It
out.
is. I had COVID a couple weeks ago, a month ago, and then I
Yeah.
had a sinus infection. Honestly, I'm still not better, not from COVID, but just like you
Yeah.
said, it's just cold and flu season. And it's sort of like, all right, like this is sort of something to get through, especially if you have little kids that like to like slobber and touch and all of that.
Yes.
And yeah, there is that, like, we're all sort of bumbling around learning how to take risks again, because everything is some kind of risk, whether it's driving down the road or risking germs for a flu or COVID, or I mean, we went through such a long time of a really necessary risk aversion and measurement, and always asking, okay, how worth it is this, right? It's like we were all doing the math all the time of, if I'm gonna take the risk, is it worth it for this coffee date with someone that, maybe we could have it on Zoom, not even to minimize like acquaintances, or this baptism, right? Like, I really want to be there for that. And that math didn't go away just because we're in like an endemic, is how I've heard it called, where, it's everyone is going to get it most likely at some point, and or practice the level of caution they might be practicing now. I don't want to speak from like a clinical or like medical standpoint, but with that, it's like we didn't shed all of those mental calculations. We just are out in the world trying to act like we're not doing them. I don't know. Do you guys resonate with that?
Yeah, people are going to have that post-traumatic stress syndrome from this too, right? Especially coming into a cold season and a flu season, right? I mean, I think that's going to affect a lot of us, when we used to, we worked at a restaurant, right? We would pound through it, right? Everybody like
having a cold.
yeah, right. I mean, everybody was like,
Wait,
okay.
We never worked when we were sick. That's
well,
gross.
I asked, yeah. I'm like, did I ever call it? Yeah. So what I mean? Like, you see it all, but now it's like it's different too. But it's also, it's also better in a way too. But I think people are just, like I said, it is a one that's going to be like post traumatic as far as like people wanting to re-engage, especially during this time coming up too. Because I had so and and like I said, when you go out, and I don't know if you guys been out, but I've had many conversations with people who, when you run into someone, you don't know if you really know them, because you met so many people online that it's really weird going out and trying to like have a conversation like, have we ever met before in person? And I see a lot of people doing that too. Like, they're just so confused right now because everybody's in a different time continuum of like going out, staying. Some people have been going out. I mean, I have, but I still get confused, like trying to reconnect with people I haven't seen in a long time, because I don't know when the last time I saw them. I don't, usually I'm pretty good at that, but I just talk. But I'm more likely I'm taking the time to really think about when the last time I saw them, right?
And are they the same
Right.
person?
Yeah, because we all changed in 2 years, right?
Let me ask you guys that. Like, if you look back on the last 2 years and say you were looking at that version of yourself, and this is a foggy question because 2 years ago we were already mid-pandemic, but it was almost like we are in the shift of like this metamorphosis. So if you looked at that self and this self, and let's make it a little cleaner of a question, socially, do you feel different? Like, and if you feel different, how are you different? At a party, at coffee, maybe when you're teaching or coaching basketball, even, like, do you feel like you're different now?
I would say that the socialization part, in the pandemic, we weren't socializing. And so we had to find ways to connect with those that were close to us. And so now taking that part away and reintroducing and meeting people and talking to people, it's having to redevelop, not that we don't know how to talk, but it's to redevelop that social skill again. Because we always used to talk to people, and now at some point some people didn't talk to anybody, and so they kind of lost that like disconnect. There was like a disconnect there. And so then it's like, okay, let me find something to read, because although I'm not socializing, I'm still reading, to like help develop that. And I also see that even in like teaching, where these students are so used to being in front of a camera and not having to have paper in front of them or a book for them to read. And they're so dependent on being taught, like via like distance learning. And so then introducing them back to school, they don't know what to do without having an electronic in front of their face. And also like developing that social skill, which I see in students. They're like, reading and writing is, it still has to be redeveloped, even though they were still learning. But having that in like the teaching environment, you can tell like which students it did affect and which students it didn't affect. And the sense of coaching, I just started working with the girls, but it kind of seems like little by little they're starting to trickle in. And so and it might be like parents or like the players, building that confidence to be present and like be part of a team, because they didn't, for like that span of time, they didn't interact. They didn't know what it was to work together. And so it's having to redevelop like those fundamentals and social skills and teamwork. So that's where I see it like in teaching.
Do you teach high school?
I do. Yeah. So I teach high school, special education.
Okay. Yeah. So it sounds like you have sort of like your experience of how this has felt in your life. And then you do have this unique vantage point where you get to see this really diverse experience too, because like you said, some kids were touched a lot more, were affected more because of access and privilege. And yeah.
So let me stop real quick. We had a couple of quotes. Yaya said she was grateful when we asked her the question, right? How do you feel? And then Fernando Calado, who says hola hi Ruben, who, speaking of grateful, I have done 5 labels, art pieces for labels of wine on his wine labels. It's called Voces. It's a commercial. Ooh. No kidding. No, it is. No, it's cool. I'm grateful for that too. He found me on Facebook, and we, during this time. So it's it's very important to my art journey that this happens, and because we talked about manifestations and what I've been doing, and all that stuff too. So thank you, Fernando. And then we have Vero Reveles Clark, and like to say hello. Great middle name. Oh, middle.
Is this family or is it just a coincidence?
You answer. I'm going to let them answer that.
Are you related to Ruben?
Anyways, I don't answer
So
any
the
questions
label,
like that. Yeah.
the wine label kind of ties into like that socialization because it's voz, which is
Yeah.
voice. So that was neat that Fernando got to chime in and, you know, share that. And we'll have to look up that wine and
And
check
also
out your label.
Mexican
Yeah.
winemakers and in Napa County, so that's good, too.
Where can we find these? Because even though this isn't a commercial, we would love to support your art and just know about it. So what wine label is this? Do you wanna?
I'll have to let him. Sorry, he's talking right now. Okay, I'll have to let him answer that because I will know soon. I saw the wine label; it has my name on the back of it too. It's really cool. So, anyways, and everybody else, come on in, have a quote, have a say. Yeah, how you finding?
Ruben, just because we haven't done this for so long, I do just want to ask a housekeeping question.
Yes,
I want to make sure that this is live on my page too, and I haven't seen any of my friends pipe in. So where are my friends? And if you're one of my friends, then say something. Tell me how you're feeling. Not that Ruben's friends aren't my friends too, but I thought I saw. I just wanted to make sure. So is that how I used to always share it? I would just share the link, and it would just live on my page.
It should be on your professional page right now too.
I see it on my professional page too. Yeah, my friends mostly are on my personal page. Not that they're not on my other one, but okay. I just wanted to make sure I had done it correctly because usually I see just a couple people saying something. So, maybe that's what I have to say. The pandemic made all my friends stop commenting on my posts and lives on Facebook.
Well, it is new. It is new again too. So right, it is one of those ones where it happens that way. So especially reconnection too.
Yes, that's what it's reconnection and getting those aware that Cali Cocktail Hour is back, and I'm grateful as well. It's so good to see the both of you. It has been a while, and I love that there's lots of things that you're working on, Ruben and Melissa. I know you have little ones, and I just seeing your plushies just made me happy because in teaching, I don't get to be with my little ones all day, but I do get the benefit of dropping my son Johnny off at school every morning. And then I get to take off during the lunch hour and come see Giovanni. And then sometimes I do bring them to basketball practice. And so it's just like trying to find balance and reconnect with anything and everything that we have going on in our worlds to just make it work.
So, and I think that's what we all have to do, kind of piece everything together, repiece it together. Melissa has had, she wrote a book, actually more than one book, right? Lots of books. But so during the pandemic, you had to put that out too, and that I'm sure that was kind of hard too to get people to. You couldn't do any book tours, right, or anything like that.
It's funny, like. That book probably only came about because of the pandemic. So I never really viewed it as like I was robbed of something because it probably wouldn't have even created it if I was in my regular life. And that's for me one of those things where I'm like, oh, that's a gift. And also, I remember like last year, probably around the same time we did our last show, I was supposed to do a live event, like an in-person event where it sounded really neat. So for anyone that's watching that doesn't know, I publish lots of journals now, but the first ones I did were called Questions You'll Wish You Asked, and they are journals for parents and children to fill out together that are like exactly that, like questions you might have for your parents or you might want to write down for your kids. And I was going to do this live event with other moms that was basically like a shared journaling event. It can be really powerful to just sit with other people and like answer a prompt and talk about your answers. I would still love to do this. But as it got closer, there was just a lot happening. Speaking of having kids, one of my kids was sick, not with COVID, thankfully, but like, I think that the presence of a pandemic, the enormity with which we all had to juggle, part of like the trickle effect of the pandemic was like not having childcare, not having the regular resources we might have had to balance out things in other areas. So anyway, I would love that. And also the truth is that with little kids and with a like what's the word I'm looking for? With the ability to reach lots of people online, as much as I love gathering in person, And I see that in my future. And I hear Siri talking, Ruben. Was that you?
What's Siri?
I heard
She's supposed to be off.
Siri,
So-
stop listening to me.
Yeah. She's
But
off.
like, as much as I see that in my future, having really little kids, it's actually a lot more practical for me to be able to just sit down in that room upstairs and meet with a client or hold a women's circle, which I've started doing. Or my next step is going to be joint writing, probably some kind of like course where we go through and write through your story, write to restore. And like my dream is to like do really cool, you know, destinations and retreats. But like for now, I actually really like meeting online. And I think, you know, I've had a lot of great examples of how to facilitate online in a really special way that doesn't just make it feel like you're on Zoom again, because we've all been on Zoom for 2 years.
Right.
This is a good example of that, right? It's like we're able to, thanks to Ruben and his artistic like coordination and facilitation, it's like I don't feel like I'm just, you know, on the screen. It's like I'm in this really neat art room with like a landscape and music and hi, thank you so much for saying hi to me.
Hi, Lila.
Oh, it's so good to see you. It's funny.
Oh,
I was
Lila.
just, like, I just searched her online because I hadn't seen you, Lila,
Yeah.
for so long. Facebook will just stop showing me people's stories. So good to see you.
Let me go real
And-
quick. My favorite vest is Zacatecas. That's where we're from too. It's getting closer. Closer to the truth.
Answer?
Closer
Yeah.
It's
to
going to
the
be like
truth.
the whole show.
That's
We're
the
going to get little
the
clues.
mystery. So I want to thank everybody for coming out too. It's been a great time, and great to see you, and great to see you. Well, I can't see. I'm sorry. I'm using my hands, but no one can see them. But I do. Oh, hold on. Sorry. Miss
Oh,
you
we
guys.
miss you too.
Yeah. So
Really left.
yeah. So what I want to play now is like, Melissa, you sent me a poem, right? That I'm gonna say I just don't even know who the author is, right, for the poem.
Rupi Kaur.
Yeah.
I don't know if I say her name right, but she's a very famous poet for
Yeah.
anyone watching.
So what I want to do is play it, but you're gonna have to read it because you don't want me to read it. Play it because it's
say,
for,
what are you going to play?
you're gonna
Like you're going to put it on screen.
yeah. So why don't you read it for us, because it goes 2 parts. I'll play after you play the first part, and then we could talk a little bit about that too, because you know I want to see why you picked it, and I'll tell you why too.
Okay.
Okay, ready? Everybody.
All right, let me preface this with anyone
Yeah.
listening, just think to yourself, do I resonate with this? You might have already had that in your mind, but like, I will just say this particular piece of writing I saw shared on a bunch of different timelines from way different people in my life. So I thought, this is resonating right now, but I'm wondering why. So,
Ready?
ready.
1, 2, sorry. Go.
Give me a break. Just kidding.
Okay.
All right. Friendship
Give me a break.
nostalgia. I miss the days when my friends knew every mundane detail about my life, and I knew every ordinary detail about theirs. Adulthood has starved me of that consistency, that us. Those walks around the block, those long conversations when we were too lost in the moment to care what time it was, when we won and celebrated, when we failed and celebrated even harder, when we were just kids. Now we have our very important jobs that fill up our very busy schedules. We have to compare calendars just to plan coffee dates that one of us will eventually cancel because adulthood is being too exhausted to leave our apartments most days. I miss belonging to a group of people bigger than myself. It was that belonging that made life easier to live. How come no one warned us about how we'd graduate and grow apart? After everything we'd been through, how come no one said one of life's biggest challenges would be trying to stay connected to the people that make us feel alive? No one talks about the hole a friend can leave inside you when they go off to make their dreams come true. In college, we used to stay up till 4 a.m, dreaming of what we'd do the moment we started earning real paychecks. Now we finally have the money to cross everything off our bucket list, but those lists are collecting dust. In some lost corridor of our minds, sometimes when I get lonely, I still search for them. I'd give anything to go back and do the foolish things we used to do. I feel the most present in your presence when we're laughing so hard the past slides off our shoulders and worries of the future slip away. The truth is, I couldn't survive without my friends. They know exactly what I need before I even know that I need it. The way we hold each other is just different. So forget grabbing coffee. I don't want to have another dinner where we sit across from each other at a table, reminiscing about old times when we have so much left to make new memories with. How about you go pack your bags and I'll pack mine? You take a week off work, I'll grab my keys, and let's go for a ride. We've got years of catching up to do. It's called Friendship Nostalgia by Rupi Kaur. And while I was reading that, my cat just climbed the coat rack and I have to go save her because if she tries to jump down, she'll get hurt. So I'll be right back. I'm going to mute myself while you guys talk about that.
And that is real. That's real stuff going on, the cat stuff. So things that video, yeah.
Wow, that I've never heard that poem before. Though the name of the author sounds familiar. It just brought so many memories. Even thinking back, like putting me. So the nostalgia was thinking about high school, thinking about being in college, thinking about like all the to-do things we have to do as adults, and just taking a moment to go back and connect with like the friendships that we had before. And it's just a reminder that although we're like so disconnected, the importance is to go back and reconnect. So then you can have that interchange with your friends and, reminisce and think about like, hey, do you remember when we used to do this? Or, remember when we were young and we used to do this? And so now it's, we have children now, or, some of us have children, some of us don't, but it's those experience and trying to figure out how we can reconnect with the current things that are going on in our lives. But at the same time, taking a moment for ourselves to appreciate and love ourselves and do things that make us feel good, to then disconnect from like all the chaos like in the world.
Yeah.
I can feel that, and it kind of reminds me of what I was talking about, like trying to reconnect with old friends, and how that that feeling is more it's more of a feeling than than it is words too. To put that when you used to hang out with your friends or used to do this, things seem to be a little more free too. Right. And I think that's kind of the time too, which I think might have changed too, where things are a little bit different now. But maybe we should need to go back to that more of that innocent part too, which is we were a little more free and less focused on everything because we had to be focused on everything. So, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the writing resonated with so many of us because hopefully, if you're lucky enough to have had that really connected feeling of being with friends, whenever it was, like for me, it wasn't college. By the time I went to college, I was an adult. I didn't really have friends in college that were like college friends. Whatever it was for you though, it's like you remember that. To me, it's like unstructured, no pressure. We don't have to like go through a list of things to catch up on because we're so connected. I already know what's happening with you. We're just like together. And the truth for me is that really isn't very possible right now, unless I literally lived with a friend. I think the type of community that springs from is circumstantial and out of necessity, even if it's like really beautiful. It's like you're together because you work together, you go to school together, you live in like a communal type of, which that's, I think, speaks to why so many of us are so exhausted to even connect, is because of the way our society is structured and the way that we are in these silos of just trying to survive. So I hear that, and I think both I want to reach out and like connect with friends, and also it's sort of a symptom of the phase I'm in as a mother of young kids, and also the society we're in where we don't have communal work, right? Or like, I don't know, I've just thought about, and I know that a lot of this springs from Indigenous communities and how like the community was structured, but just how like we're on our own. Even if you're lucky enough to have support, it's like we're all exhausted,
It's true. And it was going back to you were talking about how it's easier for you to connect with your clients because it's like on Zoom. And it makes me think that everybody learns differently. And so the way that you're able to teach is through connecting through Zoom, and it gives you like a bigger lens to reach out to people, and it just fits like in your life. And that's the way you balance in order for you to, that's your part of like positiveness that you're able to share and contribute. And it works for you, which is great. You know, not everybody has an opportunity to have a job like that where they're able to connect and be at home, and you know, being able to feed your little ones, and you know, attend to them when you need to, and you know, put them down for a nap, to take a break, to attend to like the other needs that you have. So it's, everybody learns differently. And for those that are like visual learners, or just like an auditory learner where they just have to have either a screen in front of them and somebody just speaking, but there's so much information that can be given in such a short period of time versus meeting in person, where you have to factor in travel time and then your meeting time and then having to like travel back. And so it like, you're cutting the beginning and the end, and you're just providing them with like that service and energy and information that they need. So it's good.
Yeah, and oh, one more thing. We have Leela has a question or a statement or a question. You want to read that, Melissa? Somebody? There you go.
Let me enlarge it. I have a girlfriend that I connect with on a daily basis, and I love that I can turn to her about anything. Our lives are crazy busy, and we have kids yelling in the background, but we definitely make the time to catch up on the daily, and we're here for one another. I think that's really special.
That's
and
beautiful.
I'm curious. I want to hear, Leela, do you like, how do you do that? Do you call them while the kids are in the bath? I remember a friend telling me every night we call Auntie while we're taking a bath, and that's when we talk to Auntie. And I pocketed that, like, oh, that's neat that you have this, because we sort of have to like, it's a habit, right? Connection becomes a habit, just like brushing our teeth. So yeah, and with you both, do you have ways that you have intentionally prioritize the people that are important to you? Whoever, and I know that could be family, it could be partner, it could be friendship.
I don't think it's a prioritization. Sometimes it's, you're like in the day, either they'll reach out just because you know they haven't reached out to you. For myself, haven't reached out to me in a while, or I'm just thinking about them and just saying even a hi. But and I know like social media kind of takes that away a little bit, because as you see them, you're like, okay, I seen them, like I don't have to talk to them. And so there's like a
That is so
disconnect
true.
there. Yeah, so there's a disconnect there where you see what they're posting, you know, whether it's something family, something work related, something, you know, that their hobby, or anything that it is. But if you see them, you're like, okay, I seen them, versus if you haven't seen them, you think about them, and sometimes it's just trying to find time. And then when you get that time, it's either something else comes up, or you think of something else. And so it's difficult to prioritize to make those connections. And sometimes it's just the lifestyle that like you're in, and the things that you do that makes you connect to your friends, or maybe even family.
Yeah. Well, for me, I've connected with a lot of new people since on this journey of mine. So I go to different places now where I meet different people, and that's interesting to me. Sometimes I feel like I'm on overload, but you know, I can't fit anybody more into my, you know, whatever, you know. But yeah, but it's a good problem to have too. But you know, also one of the beauties of this thing is like I get a disconnect from the people I didn't want to connect with in the first place. You know what I mean? Get all the negativity out of my life. Too, you know, people that just like bring you down and like, okay, you know, let's talk about you again, right? So I was, you know, and during this whole thing, that you're able to, you know, to prune that tree, right, of friendships, or not friendships, of acquaintances and stuff like that too. But let me go to Leela real quick, because that was you asked her a question.
Yes, I call her every day, no matter what we're doing. She's the first person I call when I get home from work, so I can tell her about my day. She tells me about hers. I even call her on my breaks at work. I love that.
That's
Like
beautiful.
chat once again. Yeah, it's such a simple thing. I call her every day, and I love talking to her because she really listens to me, and we bounce off ideas and parenting feedback. I just want to name that to me that is very special, and it sounds really normal to you, but for me, like, I haven't talked to my friends on a daily basis in depth. You know, we might text, but like that for years. So I guess you're here for a reason. So hopefully people are like, oh, I could just do that. And even as I see you say that, there's a part of me that's like, it's a choice too, because the truth is I don't want to call my friends every day. If I did, I would do it, but I do want to feel connected. And so we each need to find out, like, what are the ways through which we feel sustained and seen. And those can change, right? Like from person to person, from time to time. What were you going to say, Ruben?
Oh, we have another inquiry comment. It's from hello, Roxana. How you doing? Nice to see you or hear from you right now. You want to read that?
Hi, Roxana. So true. Recently, have been meeting up more, calling, or making direct contact via inbox with more personal questions. It helped to leave the U.S. I came back with more energy to reconnect with the aligned, positive people. I think that's a really important point. You had sort of like the pandemic was a break for us, but you had like a physical break. Like, I don't know your story, whether you moved and came back or like a long stay, but you had that chance to be intentional with more energy to reconnect with the aligned, positive people. Roxana, if you're still here, I'm curious, did you have to put up boundaries with the disaligned or misaligned other people? And what was that like? Because that can be tough. Yeah. And what about you guys? Do you struggle with that? Yeah.
I think just connecting. Well, I think you do have to take a break. Sometimes you feel like we're on a break all day because we're just automatic in doing the things that we do. And so sometimes we feel like we're on a break all day, and sometimes we feel like we just haven't had a break just because we're constantly on the go. But just overall, I think it's just important to, if you have someone to connect to, absolutely. But sometimes there's people that are fine with not connecting with people because they're happy with who's currently around them, or who they're talking to, or whether it's going to work and coming back and, you know, and being present with like your home life. Some people might have a close-knit family. Some people might not have a family, and so it's everyone is different. And one of the things that I wanted to say earlier is that one is life is about learning, and the other thing is life is also about meeting people. And there's so many people in this world, all walks of life, where there's an opportunity to connect with someone. And like Ruben said, when he had mentioned, sometimes I just want to disconnect and not talk to those people anymore. But there's also an opportunity, and there's lots of like beings out there that we can connect with and figure out if it's a new connection that we make.
Yeah.
So it's good to keep the old connections. If you have like that support and want to continue that, but it's also recreating new connections, which kind of goes back to like reconnecting with like the things that we used to do, but also reconnecting with new things.
I remember hearing once that every relationship is almost like having an avatar inside of yourself. Like, I have an avatar for Ruben. This is who I know Ruben to be. This is what I think he might say. This is how I think he is. And then I also have one for me with Ruben. Like, this is the Melissa that Ruben knows. This is kind of how he thinks of me. And I don't think all of us have this conscious awareness of like these avatars. But I guess I bring it up because to me, it speaks to how we all have so many different parts. And sometimes one part is like more prominent than another. And that part, maybe a particular friend, you just doesn't resonate with that part for you right now. And it might not be conscious, but just speaking to the seasons. And it's one thing if like every time you see someone, your nervous system is just like
those are the ones we really need to examine. How do I have healthy boundaries, as Roxana talked about?
Right.
But then there's just like recognizing, like for example, recently I've gotten really into breath work, this certain type of healing that is new for me in the last year. And I'm really gravitating toward other breath work practitioners and students just because it's this exciting thing and language. And also like my best friend knows nothing about this. So I'm not like talking about it with her. It doesn't mean that we have nothing in common, but just kind of recognizing we go through those phases and like,
hey,
yeah.
I have dude friends, the sports friends. We got to talk about sports, you know what I mean? Like, well, you got to have people that that, you can only, some people have emotional, you can't squeeze that much emotions out of them. So, but they're still nice people, right?
Right.
You're not going to have a deep conversation with this person. Then let's go have a beer and watch some sports, but I still like them, right? So it's not, I just think there's many different tiers of depths of friendships and connections that we have too, right? And some of my family members, they annoy me. So guess what? Out.
What about the one that's on with us right now? Do they annoy you?
That is the trick question right there.
Is that the question of the
they
night?
wouldn't be here. They wouldn't be here. They would, yeah. Anyways,
yeah.
But yeah, so it is true that like you said, talk to people about breath work, right? There's some friends that aren't gonna want to do that too, right? They don't. I mean, you just know friends that will get into it with you about certain subjects, and and
people don't realize that.
Yeah. So Teresa's talking about art. Yeah, so she has Marcos, and they're the partners, and they do a lot of stuff together.
Wait, I want to hear this. Artner, is that like partner, but it's art?
Yeah.
Okay, I love that so much.
Artner.
It made my nose itch a lot. Apparently, it's like
okay. So you want to read Roxana's again? Here it goes.
Having a break over a month in Latin America helped me remember how other places connect with each other and prioritize relationships and time off for friends and family, and not just a hustle. Also, it made it clear when I came back who had energy that needed a boundary. Oof. Okay, that's like an important point, Rez. Who had energy that needed a boundary? Lots of yoga, meditation. I took on becoming a yoga trapeze instructor and belly dance. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. It all has helped to reconnect with myself and others. Leave that up for a minute, Ruben. I want to look at it again.
I know, I keep pulling them down. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I apologize.
I think that's such an important.
I'm sorry.
Please, it's okay.
I mean, you guys, there's 2 women on here and 1 male, so can you please just be gentle with me?
Can we just talk about sports? Because that's all I want to talk about.
The Kings.
He just created his own energy boundary.
Guys are not just about sports, okay?
They're not? Oh.
No.
I have to rewrite my feminist manifesto then. I just appreciate your breakdown, Roxana. I think that the break was a geographical break, and then bringing that break here and creating the inner space, because that's what meditation and really energy, and I know that like that is so your area of expertise, is energy and like I think recognizing that we know deep down who to gravitate toward and who to gravitate away from at certain points, right? And yeah. And
also I'll put in that I do a lot of compassionate work too. So some people who are, need work and need that kind of listening to, and, I do practice deep listening. So I will listen to people, I don't give them, just like give them the boot out of there, you know what I mean? But there comes a time and point where you have to realize that it may not be conducive to yourself too, right? It may be taking too much energy from you to maintain this relationship when you start seeing it become very narcissistic relationship, right? When it's like all about them, right? And it's like, okay, well, thank you very much, So, but you can keep that energy for yourself. Like I've known to block off energy for myself too, and that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Boundaries are good. Talk about them.
Yes, boundaries. Absolutely.
Also, we don't do anybody any favors when like we don't want to be with them, but we make ourselves. Like, I think I have to remember that a lot. And I don't even have anyone I have in mind right now. I think I've been almost too good about having boundaries where if anything, I need to be like, wait, come back because I've been so protective of my energy. But
Yeah.
I guess for me as a people pleaser who might think, oh, I need to do this thing. I need to say yes to this. I need to keep this relationship. I need to make sure they're okay. It's not to say that we are just I am just this callous, whatever
Yeah, that's
kind
what
of
I mean.
person, but that it's like, it doesn't do someone else a favor to not really want to be around them or not
Yeah.
really want to do this thing. And I was talking to my partner the other day about there's such a different place when you volunteer to help or volunteer or like say, let's hang out from a place of love and connection versus a place of fear, whether the fear is you don't have anyone else. What if you never help me if I don't help you? We've had a friendship so long, like love and fear. I'm constantly coming back to that question for myself. I think that's one of the ways I would suggest if anyone is unsure, like, is this from love energetically or is this from fear?
Yeah, and also
And-
coming from. Oh, go ahead.
And also when you're creating that boundary, it's you can always say no. As difficult it is to say no, it's okay to say no. And that's one of the things that when somebody asks, it's like, no, I just can't, because it's taken away from your energy that if you're trying to protect. And then also kind of going back to the breathing, our breathing is so automatic, but we don't realize how important just our simple breathing can help us like relieve and help with that, maintaining that energy. And so I think it's important that we do take the time to, close our eyes for a minute and just take a deep breath and, in through your nose and out through your mouth to kind of make you just reconnect, and be aware that some people, like I said, it's so automatic. Our body just does automatically, but we don't realize that when we make our body breathe, inhale and exhale with like technique, your body feels better.
You land in your body. I think that's the biggest thing for me is like, for someone like me that loves to be in my head and make sense of things and analyze things and think things through. I'm a huge proponent of thought work and I'm a coach and like breathing lands you in your body, and I know that like anyone who's around little kids, little kids, like they have no problem showing you what they want and what they don't, who they want to be near and who they don't. They're not in here yet. They're just like, no.
But I use that with my son. I just tell him, like, when he's I know that he needs, I just said, okay, just close your eyes and take a deep breath. And he's 3 years old and he'll go. So they use, I teach it to him too.
Yeah. My daughter's 3 too. So I love that you have that technique and yes.
So Teresa said
meditation.
Teresa said yes from a while ago about the partners and the partners thing too.
I realized that you have so much power because you could make her say yes, whereas she didn't want to say yes.
I'm all yeah. Do you like Ruben? Yes.
Yes.
You think Ruben's? Do you think Ruben's a really cool guy? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So let me whisper something into both your ear real quick. Leela talks a lot. Okay, so let me pull this up real quick.
I was like, Ruben, she's still
okay,
here.
go ahead.
That, right?
Go ahead, read it.
Leela, I'm sorry. Ruben's a guy. He just doesn't get it. Okay. Leela says, I love communicating and talking a lot. Okay, you're the one who said that. Ruben was just saying that. LOL. Lol. I tend to cling to people who do the same. If my friends or family choose not to communicate with me, I tend to take it personally and feel like I don't matter enough to them. That's why I'm extra thankful for my friends like Jennifer. Oh, Jennifer, I want to say, I love that you have found someone like that who I know I can truly rely on. It speaks to the love languages too, how we all feel loved in different ways, how we find people who can meet us where we're at and in that way that we feel loved and yeah. And
I think she's laughing at us. I know it's
laughing at us because
but
we're laughing
the talking
at
a
us
lot. Yeah, the talking a lot. So
she's communicating with love and laughter.
That's right. So yeah. So and like I said, we like to appreciate everybody for coming on Cali Cocktail Hour. We will be having pop-ups here and there and here. So stay tuned. Melissa will make it sometimes. She will not, but
will.
yeah, she's gonna try her
Sometimes I will,
hardest.
though.
Teresa will be sometimes will become the co-host too, and we can talk more and communicate to more people.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, and we've done this a while too, so it's beautiful that everybody to show up tonight too. I know there's people lurking out there, lurking. They're lurkers, so yeah, lurking and twerking. That's my motto. So
Lurking and twerking.
Yeah.
Can we just make that the topic next time, just to cut to the chase?
yeah, so
Everyone come to reconnect and to lurk and to twerk.
and one thing, Melissa, tell the people about your shoot.
Oh no, you're
feather.
molting. You're molting.
I'm actually it's for my eyebrows to brush my eyebrows. It's a new
I
thing.
think this is in line with the transformation theme, because
That's
you're
right.
shedding one layer of feathers to
That's right.
produce another.
So one thing I do want to show is what I've been doing during after this whole time too, because I had to do a lot of stuff. So do you mind if I show a little bit of what I've been doing lately too?
Yeah.
Okay.
What
so
have you been doing lately?
yeah, well, I've been practicing. This is a very serious thing that I've been doing, but I haven't showed anybody yet. Well, actually, I have showed people, but not clearly in this kind of one time a long time ago. But may I show you what's dear to me as far as being an artist, the things that I've done in the past year, and this manifestations and all this stuff. So, do you mind if I play it real quick? You promise you won't laugh? You won't laugh at me, will you? Because this is very personal to me, right?
We're going to
That's
land in the present. I get the sense that this is a different vibe, so I just want to honor whatever it is. So yeah, we're here right
ready? Now. Okay. Oh, look at that. Okay,
Sorry,
here we go.
Pumpkin
Everybody.
So
Pumpkin, this is a very personal piece that I made. So here we go.
Keep my shoulders down, my head up, my frame locked, stay on my toes. When will you love me tomorrow?
All right.
Ruben, you're such a turd.
Do you see him twerking in there?
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. I had to, get up there and.
Here I was, ready to put on my serious hat, ready to get emotional with you. And you know what? I'm always happy to watch. Nobody puts Ruben in the corner. That's from Dirty Dancing.
Where's the twerking?
That's the old school twerking.
That's right. The kids don't know these days.
We've all seen that movie, right?
What's that?
Has everyone watching seen this movie? Do we know what that was from?
Dirty Dancing? No. I don't know. I forgot. Oh, is it?
No, it is.
Okay.
I wasn't quizzing you. I figured you knew.
Oh, I was like, damn. I was like,
I was like, wait a minute. It was.
Oh, Carla's here. So Carla, who I met this year, yes, is she is a chocolate maker.
Carla.
Yeah. So she makes chocolate from crew chocolate, and I've been having a lot of it. So, and I've actually been having this.
Maybe that's why your feathers are falling out.
Yeah.
Chocolate.
No, she has this chocolate with cacao with mushrooms, and you put it in your coffee. It's so fucking good. Yeah, it's really good. So that's another
endorsement. Do you want to share a link? Please feel free to share a link. Always feel free. Anyone who
Carla,
highlight here. We want to know how to support you. We want to know. Ruben, I thought you were going to actually put on an art piece. Can we hear about your art for a second, please?
Art piece. Well, not after that, no. But anyways, so hold on. We got a thing. Okay, there you go. Dirty Dancing.
Leela passed. She passed.
That was hold on. It's a classic. Yes.
It is a classic.
And Carla says hello. So
Hi,
crew chocolate. CRU crew chocolate.
CRU crew. Okay.
Yeah. No, CRU. That's how she said crew. Not CRU crew. Yeah.
That's what I said.
Shake your tail feathers. People, come on.
Your tail feathers. We can. It's a vibe tonight. We don't set the tone. All right.
It is
people
a vibe tonight.
And the energy presents itself.
Yeah.
We're just here to animate.
Yeah.
But okay, so since we are wrapping up, I do think that each of us should go around and share. Anyone who's watching, tell us if you have something you're excited about. Leela, what are you working on? You're an artist. Do you want to share anything with us? Carla, would you like to share your chocolate? I always go back and look at the links when we're done. So I personally would love
the art nerds too. The art nerds are out there.
Yeah. The art nerds that made my nose itchy. I love that word so much. And then, of course, we want to hear from
Roxana.
each other.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Whoever's on the thing. Yeah. So that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. She may be out in another what do you call it? Some sort of art
Mhm.
show or something like that. Maybe a jazz show. So Yaya is a force in herself. So yeah. So
Mm.
all right. Well, continue, Melissa. Talk about
Oh,
your
okay.
woman's circle coming up on Sunday.
December 11th.
Yeah. See.
Yeah. So I do women's circles monthly. These started live in my backyard, and then I wanted to open them up to more people. So I host it monthly, and it's really simple. It's just gently facilitated, guided sharing. Like last week, we actually had ours last week. We did some prompts about what do you want more of, what do you want less of. And this next month is probably going to be around support. That's part of why I'm interested in this topic. Like, how do we actually get support? What does actual community look like? Not like the idea of it, but like real lived, helpful, vulnerable, because it's vulnerable to have actual community, to actually need support, ask for it, accept it. So yeah, that's what we do. And it's on December 11th. Oh, Ruben shared the link. I was like, Ruben, where is it? But
It's been on
if you
there.
are interested, if you're interested in joining and you identify as a woman or femme, you are welcome. The link that he shared is where you can find it and sign up. And it does fill up because I can only have a certain amount of spots in order to make sure everyone is able to share. So I would love to have you. And please share it with any women in your life who might be in need of support too, because there might be a friend or family member that you know of that's been feeling disconnected or lonely or not a part of. And I think one of my missions in life is to reach those people and help them to know that like they matter. And part of that is just in witnessing each other. So yeah, I hope to see you all.
Do you try? I have a question for you, Melissa. So when gathering in like your women's circles, like in the indigenous cultures, they have what's called a lunada, which is where women gather like on full moons. So would you ever think about like connecting like on a full moon and kind of tying in like the power of like the moon and like women?
Yeah, I've definitely thought about that, and it hasn't just. It would be so powerful. I do my own kind of moon ritual just by myself. I always make moon water and set intentions, and I think it could be really powerful. And in full transparency, I think part of why I haven't done it is I have a little bit of like, do I know how? Like it's like this private practice that I have. I don't want to. I don't know. I think it's like do I know enough about how I want to run this to do it in a way that isn't like any kind of appropriation for one, not that moon circle is, but like the ways in which I've experienced this might have been from other cultures. So I want to make sure I do it in like ethical, but also it just hasn't aligned schedule wise. But I love that. I think there's so much power in women and the moon in our bodies and seasons. I would have loved to do my next circle at the winter solstice. I also just was like, I don't think people can come right before Christmas. I think I need to do it earlier just to like be realistic about the way schedules get in December. Right. But yeah, I think that's a great detail. And by probably January, I will probably have aligned myself with the moon cycles in order to like lead a group through that, because it's just helpful. Yeah. And what about you? I would love to hear, where can we find you? And is there anything that you're currently offering or working on, or just want to share with people watching, maybe leaving a link?
Yeah, just they can always, everyone can follow me on Instagram at Mexica1. Facebook, I'm there, but I'm kind of hit and miss on Facebook. And it's just, it's been busy with teaching and coaching. I haven't really sat down and, created things. I still do healing sessions. And so if people reach out, I do provide spiritual cleanses, and it's great. Things are going really good. And also working with a local farmer here, which is Busy Bees Honey, and we're selling honey out of the Mexica One shop. So it's a great community collaboration. You can find that information on my Instagram page. And so, yes, it's been a great blessing overall.
What does entail the spiritual healing, the cleansing?
The cleansing would be is, one is aligning your chakras, also removing like any type of like energy blockage that you have. And it just feels overall, every time I'm done with, and the feedback that I get is I needed that. And I just feel so much lighter, and them not realizing that they were carrying that energy that their body didn't need. I can be very hands-on, or I can just be hands-off and just move like energies out to give you like that clarity.
Yeah, I may need some of that too, by the way.
Yeah, I'll have to come.
Yeah, let me go to Leela is working on a 10-inch by 25-inch mural.
Wow.
That's a very small mural.
Is that inch? I can't see it.
No, it's fit.
Oh, I get it. You're making a joke. Ha ha.
That's a big mural. Good luck. I think good luck on that one too.
We've done quite a few of these.
What's that? Teresa's working on a mural application for. They're doing a big mural project too, and I think they're starting to paint in the museum in 2023.
Oh, that's awesome.
Roxana's getting back to my art and singing, performing, dancing again. UN Women's Champion projects for 23 plus.
For 2023.
Awesome. Great work.
Yeah. What's the UN Women's Champion projects for 20?
Yeah, I know. I'm interested in what that is.
Give us a little more information on that, please. Yeah. Leela's working on Ha Ha Ha, which I think would probably has something to do with talking, I'm sure.
Ha.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty complex.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in like
So
you can make a PowerPoint about that.
and if you say it backwards, it's almost the same. So that's a good thing right there too. Yeah. So yeah.
And what about you, Ruben? What are you working on?
I am working on myself.
That's a pretty big mural.
on my feathers. Well, I just completed. What do you call it? Oh, 2 pieces that are going to go through every Mexican consulate in the United States. They just did a press release. Yeah, they just did a press release, so I finally know what actually is happening. I got invited to go back to Tijuana this year for an international conference, or not, U.S. Mexican conference of Mexican artists that I might not go, but I still got invited to it. So I went there last year in Mexico City. For that too. So I'm going to have those wine labels coming out, those bottles of wine coming out this year too. What else? I just did Mexico in a Bottle, which I was a featured artist in San Francisco.
Awesome.
And so all this stuff is like manifesting forward, and looking forward to doing, after all that, 2 weeks of that intensity of doing that, or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I am going to focus on, creating some new moving art and more in the metaverse, and working with AI artwork, and moving forward with that too. So trying to create a digital gallery space myself. So talking to the city, talking to different people, to have a space where, where it has to do with underserved youth too. But we'll get in that later on. And then I'm actually teaching a class at the Met with Chico Gonzalez. It's old school and new school. So doing digital artwork, and then I'm gonna do image transfers on tile. She's gonna show 10 high school students how to do that. So, but I'm also gonna.
When you say the Met, which Met?
It's the high school by Southside Park.
Wow.
Yeah. So, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna show them how to take new stuff, how to manipulate your images, how to do this, how to flip them, and then put them on a tile like 1970 style, and it adheres to the ink. And then but it also gives them a way to sell artwork and make artwork too. The new style will be kind of the style that digital artwork that I've been doing, and then the older part will be the actual transferring and make them into physical pieces. So. And then so I do want to take them into the AI technology, because I think that it is very important that people of color and all go into that field, because just like anything else, it is a disparity is a lot, just like the metaverse. So we're trying to get people to go in that way too. So, and women too. So I don't want to take that out because it kind of actually, it's the same at the real world as the same as the metaverse, the same as all this other stuff. It's mostly, matter of fact, AI, if you tell AI to create a visual of an executive, it will make a white male because it's kind of biased, and that's what it's retrieving from everything. So during this, I took a seminar, and they're like, we have to change that. So, and that's kind of one way to do that too. So, without going too much, there's trying to get people in these other spaces to change also too, and to get in there on the ground level rather than being late to the and then kind of catch up to everything. So a lot of
That's
stuff.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's a lot of really great stuff.
yeah.
And it is really exciting.
Yeah.
I agree with Leela.
Thank you. Oh, hold on. Of course, Leela wants to know about the free wine, perhaps.
Ha ha ha.
Okay. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff, and I'm excited for this year because it's been a long year. It's been a scary year. It's been everything. I've been up for days, and trying to figure out how am I going to make money for the next one. I think that's kind of what we all go through, right? Because we're all creatives, and we're all things change. So, but I keep that positive, the attitude, like, okay, the universe will take care of me, whoever will take care of me, you know what I mean? And so we move forward into that, and so even with my car, like I don't have a lot of money to, to fix everything that happened, but you have to find the positive in those negatives. And maybe I was meant to stay home, and so that's the way I look at it. And I got to do the show, and I caught up to everything. And so this is great for me, just being here with you two and everybody out there too. So, yeah. So let me go to, sorry. I don't want to keep talking. So
I was selected by UN Women as a women's economic empowerment champion. We will be hosting conferences online and in person in various cities in the US and Egypt. Oh my gosh. That is so neat. Wow. We have some
awesome.
cool people in our orbit of Cali Cocktail Hour. Well, I'm going to check that
Yes.
out when we're off.
Uh-oh. And then we got free line. Well, again, I'm sorry. Okay, ready?
I definitely appreciate your time, you guys connecting with us. I need to get out of my bubble tonight. Grateful. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
see?
so glad that you were here.
Awesome, Meadow. Yay.
Yeah, but I'm grateful
Thank you for joining
you.
us.
Yeah.
We needed this too. This is for all of us. And
Yes.
I appreciate you all, anyone who joined us live, anyone who just made a comment and
There were
then
many-
had to go back
yes.
to life. And yeah, all of us. I don't know what you just said. What did you just say?
That was subliminal.
Oh, okay. You're
That was-
trying to get
yeah.
into my head.
Yeah. No,
You're
everybody's.
amazing.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
you guys are amazing. Ruben, I hope you lose all your
So I do
feathers and
I do want
your-
to
and you
cut you
heard.
guys out with a new song I wrote tonight.
Is it from
Talk about-
Dirty Dancing?
Yes. Yeah, no. No, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys coming on. You people, you women. I keep saying guys.
Okay,
That's
where's
just
your
why-
song, Ruben? You can't just
I
say
talk,
that
bro.
and then not.
They want to say hi real quick.
Goodbye, Roxana. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love your background. Hi.
Oh, there you go. See,
We love your mom. Your mom was a guest for us tonight.
we were waiting for you.
Oh,
We had a cat. We have a kid, and now what? So,
your turn.
anyways.
Have Melissa
Here's a little
come
one.
through.
Meadow,
Yeah, I know.
say hi. He wanted to say hi.
Oh, another one. Dang.
Hi. Hi, guys.
Well, we like to thank everybody. Thank you. We'll be back, and we'll, so Cali Cocktail will be pop up, so it'll be here and there, and but more than often than not, because I think we need to come back here, even if if it's just us too. So it's a great time.
Yeah,
Thank you,
and when
everybody.
you pop up, just RSVP, even if you can't for sure come, and then you'll get a reminder. So then if you happen to be free, we'll get to see you.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming, and thank you for being
Bye.
our guest. It was so great to see you and your beautiful children. Bye. Bye,
The guest
Ruben.
stars. Bye, Teresa.
It's good seeing you.
All right. Goodbye. Good night,
Bye.
everybody.